Hello, welcome to Local Anesthetic Podcast, your regular injection of mind-numbing local news. And normally I'm prepared. I'm not now. I don't know what episode it is. I think it might be 385, but that is a wild stab in the dark.
It is, Alex. I'm very impressed. It is indeed.
All right, Rob, over on the Patreon episodes, we normally say less waffle, more stories. We get straight into it over there. Anybody who's interested, go to patreon.com/LAPodcast extra, become a supporter of this podcast. We would appreciate it. But we do have a bit more waffle here. Is there any news?
There is, yes. As always, as we mentioned many a time, Steve is our Eagle Heights correspondent and has been diligently seeking out Eagle Heights news, of which there is some. Oh God. So he posted on the 18th of March to say, well, this is the post from Eagle Heights. Have you met Wilbur yet? Wilbur came to live with us at the foundation due to his incredible escape techniques. Wilbur loves headbutting fences and toddlers. Both behaviours are being addressed by Sean, his keeper. So, Alex, I mean, Wilbur's a goat, by the way, just to let you know.
Right.
Who apparently loves escaping and headbutting fences and toddlers. And they actually felt that was okay to put in their post.
No, they haven't learned, Rob. They haven't learned. Inevitably, we need Steve. If you could keep an eye, because inevitably there's going to be a story. Toddler headbutted by what is it again? A
goat.
Toddler headbutted by a goat. Eagle Heights owner says, "What do you expect?"
Yeah, he's a goat. I mean, yeah, we told you what he does. You know, what else could we do? If anyone does care, but in the meantime, he is living at a paddock where you can come to see him. Apparently, he's quite a big personality, and we love him dearly. There we go.
To be honest, Rob, I do wonder if the reason they put that in was a sort of disclaimer, so that if anything happens, they can say, "Well, we did put that it likes headbutting toddlers." Like, I reckon
exactly.
They rang their lawyer. Either it was Saul Goodman or Lionel Hutz, one of the two, and said, "How do we?" And he said, "I just mentioned it on the website. You'll be all right."
It's a shame they didn't put that with the cheetahs. You know, our cheetahs like nothing more than terrorizing the animals and biting children. If they put that in there wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, exactly. Any more news, Rob?
No, I think that's it for the time being. Yeah, no, it's all quiet on the Western Front, as they said during the First World War.
We are recording, Rob, not just because of when we had to do things this time around. We're recording not that far off April Fool's Day. It was a few days ago.
Yep.
I'm going to hold my hands up and say that given I'd forgotten it was April Fool's Day. I read the news like I do every morning from a variety of different publications. I like to keep myself informed. But as you know, we are living in the crazy sort of timeline. And
the post-truth era.
Yeah, the post-truth era, and therefore everything kind of makes sense now. So I saw a story in The Guardian about how leading sort of the City of London sort of firms had agreed to sort of help out with the net zero carbon emissions initiative. So, for example, the BT Tower was going to have a wind turbine stuck on the side of it, as were other big skyscrapers. And there was a mock-up of this, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought, yeah, that sounds about right. And that was obviously an April Fool's story. There is not going to be a great big wind turbine attached to the side of the BT Tower. But I read it and thought, is that really going to make much of a difference? But fine, whatever.
But Alex, I'm with you on that. But also part of me is thinking, actually, that might be a good idea. They're quite tall structures, and maybe they can generate some electricity. But also, I think I'm right in saying there's a residential block in Elephant and Castle that has 3 wind turbines on the top of the roof. Yeah, so it's true. Not actually that far off. But yeah, I did enjoy on Twitter. There's a coach company called Barnes who got in on the April Fool's action and said they were launching their first quadruple decker bus, which I quite enjoyed.
That's brilliant. I mean, obviously nothing will ever take the crown from that year you were duped, Rob, where you believed that somebody had crafted a life-size statue out of chocolate of Benedict Cumberbatch. No. Which is
right. You know. We've talked about fake news, and just to once again to put the matter to bed, there is a picture. I saw it. It does exist, and you can go back through our Facebook images, and there's an image of that standing proud in I think it was Westfield Shopping Centre.
Okay, Rob, let's get on with this. By the way, for anybody who's been interested recently in us talking about all things AI, we will be covering that briefly on the next episode of, just to send Rob into a deeper depression in the next episode of the Patreon. But it's fun watching Rob become increasingly despairing. Let's get on with this, Rob. Listen,
Great.
I feel terrible because I've had two stories which are bona fide classics in my inbox and somehow have omitted to be mentioning them over the last few weeks.
Okay.
I cannot believe the listeners didn't send them to us, and I cannot believe that you have not come across them. Let's start. I'm going to do two. This is from the Wales Online by Neil Shaw, and it was from the 23rd of February. So this is bad, Rob. We're talking well over a month ago. Headline: Mum barred from buying 100 cucumbers in Lidl.
Oh shit! Hang on, no, that's really bizarre. I had this story, but
You also felt...
I don't know what happened.
Exactly. We both omitted it from our
don't
mind.
know.
Well,
yeah.
well, I've got two sexually related stories, one after the other. This and the next. Look, I'm calling it now. Buying 100 cucumbers from a supermarket is suspicious. And I'm going to be thinking, if it's a woman buying them, I don't know why. Well, I do know why. But should I think them of a man as well? Maybe I would think it of a man. If I'm the cashier, I'm going to be thinking something sexually related. That might just be my mind.
Alex, if he goes up and buys 100 cucumbers, maybe some condoms and some lube, I mean, I think that takes away any doubt.
That would tell you the wife's away, we're planning a fun weekend.
Exactly.
Or the husband.
And, we're all human. Yeah. We've all done it. Right?
A mum claims she's been barred from buying too much fruit and veg in Lidl after attempting to walk out with 100 cucumbers during a supermarket shortage. Lisa Ferns has been buying the huge number of cucumbers from Lidl every week for the past 3 years, Rob. Do you want to guess why she's been buying them every week for the last 3 years?
I think I know. I remember reading the story, so I know why she was buying them, because I think she runs. Well, I won't spoil it for the listeners, but every week. And also, I'm surprised that Lidl haven't challenged on this beforehand, to be honest.
Well, it's to make detox drinks for a juicing business. The 49-year-old said she was about to pay on Sunday when a manager rushed over and barred her from emptying the shelf of the fruit. Fruit? Isn't it a vegetable? I did not know cucumber was a fruit.
No, I think it's something to do with the seeds.
I know tomatoes are technically a fruit.
I'll Google it.
Some supermarket chains have started rationing fruit and vegetables. We know this is over now. Are we still rationing this stuff? I don't know that we are.
I mean, I must admit, I've still been seeing some sort of fruit and veg aisles quite empty, even now.
I think that's to do with where you're shopping, Rob, and other factors. The mum of two says it took her 2 hours and 5 different supermarkets to complete her shop rather than the usual 15 minutes. I guess it would take about 15 minutes to load up a shopping trolley with 100 cucumbers.
Yeah.
Is she counting them, by the way? I mean, it would look a bit odd. There aren't even 100 cucumbers in my Aldi anywhere at any given time, so I don't quite know how she's doing this.
I was thinking the same thing, actually. Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, I think she'd literally just be clearing the entire stock, surely. Yeah. Which, is, in my opinion, is selfish.
Frustrated Lisa lashed out a little, which is a lovely phrase.
It is.
Frustrated Lisa lashed out a little online when she wrote, "What the actual fucking fuck?" claiming she'd been barred for purchasing too much fruit and veg and saying she had now moved on from Lidl. Lidl stressed they're a supermarket, not a wholesaler, where business traditionally buy their goods from lower bulk prices to then sell on to their own customers. They're not a wholesaler, Rob. They're not Macros. Anybody remembers that? Lisa said, "I've been going every week on a Sunday for 3 years. I get there at 10 a.m. because I need the cucumbers to be fresh. And then I make the juices in the day. I get funny looks when I'm in the supermarket. People look at me like, 'What are you doing?' I need 100 cucumbers. The manager came running out of the back, not a euphemism, saying I'm buying too much fruit and veg and I can't purchase that much. They didn't want my custom, so I said I'd take my custom to Aldi. I had to go to Asda, another Lidl, another Aldi. I'm like a secret shopper. It now takes me about 2 hours to get all the shopping rather than 15 to 20 minutes. In Aldi, there was a limit of 3 cucumbers per person, so I picked up 6 and they didn't say anything. I'm stressed about what I'm going to do every week. I'm going to have to find a pleasant, happy fruit and vegetable store that I would like to take my business." Can I say, a pleasant, happy fruit and vegetable store? I like that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a battle in the shops. That's her prediction, Rob. Remember Enoch Powell?
Yeah.
She's coming along, Rob, saying there's going to be a battle in the shops. Blood on the supermarket aisles, Rob.
Alex, this woman claims to be a business person. Why doesn't she go to a fucking wholesaler?
It's a good question. She's a personal trainer, and she's been running her juicing business since the start of the first lockdown 3 years ago, and says she's noticed the cost of fruit and vegetables soar. She says on average she spends £70 on cucumbers every week before making detox juice and selling it on. Lisa says, I ran a ladies only gym. I was going to set up a juice bar, then lockdown happened, so I started juicing from home. Not a euphemism. It's called Juicy Nutrition, made fresh and local, delivered to you. A juice cleanse can help you. I can't read the rest of it. It's obscured by the juice bottles, but I think it says lose weight, make your skin amazing, and other things. You wanted to say something, Rob?
So, Alex, two things. First of all, can I just clarify? So, is she using the fruit first and then juicing it? Does that make sense?
Rob, it's puerile, mate. On Sunday,
and secondly, Alex, my second point, I do need to say this. The botanical classification is that cucumbers are fruit. A fruit apparently is the seed-bearing product that grows from the ovary of a flowering plant, or in other words, a fruit is the plant's way of spreading its seed. So, just to clarify, cucumbers are fruit.
Rob, I was talking to, I had a pint recently with Nige Farage.
Yeah.
And I was saying to him, what is the world coming to, Nige? You know, when I was growing up, men were men, women were women, and cucumbers were vegetables, and so were tomatoes. And now everything is changing. Men are calling themselves women, women are calling themselves men, and cucumbers are calling themselves fruits.
It's a mixed world, Alex. This is, again, why I voted to leave the EU.
The reason I was talking about it to Nigel was I noticed he had 100 cucumbers, some condoms and lube in a shopping bag next to the pub table.
he would be the type, let's be honest. I can imagine like Nigel Farage sticking a cucumber up his arse.
Is that libelous? I don't know. On Sunday,
I don't care.
Sunday, it was more expensive because I had to go to different shops. I remember cucumbers were only about 40p. I never remember them being 40p, and now they're 70p. They more or less doubled in price. It's stressful. Lidl said that unlike other retailers, they do not currently have any restrictions in place due to the national shortage, and that Lisa's issue will have arisen due to the wholesale purchase attempt. I love that. It came up in the back room. Wholesale purchase attempt, and the manager run out, tasered her. A little spokesman person said, as a supermarket, we want to ensure all our customers have access to the products they need, and we are therefore unfortunately not able to facilitate wholesale purchases. We thank shoppers for their understanding and consideration of other customers. And I can't be bothered to read any more of this. But are there any comments? Yes, there are.
Right.
Come on, Rob. Josie Shopper says, selfish, self-centered woman. Go to a cash and carry. Anyhow, if drinking the stuff does that to your face, I don't want any. Now, this is a bit cruel. There is a picture of her. Right. She looks like she's had rather a lot of plastic surgery, maybe. It doesn't look great for 49.
I seem to remember she was wearing quite a lot of makeup on.
Yeah, we don't hold that against her, Rob, do we?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just checking. Paulish says, what a selfish woman. I need, well, so do others. What a selfish woman. I need, well, so do others. As for that face, I think she's detoxed too much. Maybe she should go for cream for scary faces. Wow. A lot of judgment. Bandian says, tax is coming for you. It's chilling.
What?
Well, I think he's implying that is she declaring business practice?
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Wow, Gold Star Bar says, I think she practiced with the cucumbers. That's why she have lips like that. Think of that. What you will.
Alex, which paper is this again? Just out of interest?
Wales Online.
Right, okay.
Silent Me says, that has to be a wig. I've never seen such a high forehead. Why is she trying to look like Katie Price? Also, just as ignorant, part of the as long as I am fine, but to hell with you brigade. Now, where is that chocolate bar? So again, more comments on this woman's appearance. I mean, it kind of goes on and on. Molly5555 says, if that's what you look like if that's the look you achieve by eating cucumbers, I'm giving them up. Surely she didn't volunteer those photos. I'm going to look at them again. I mean, it's just a pic. Okay.
I mean,
it's not a wig. Yes, she has a high forehead. She does look like she's had lip filler and quite a lot of plastic surgery. But I don't think we should just be mocking her appearance. I'm going to leave you the Wells Online.
No.
And we're going to move to sex with cucumbers, Rob, to... how did we miss this, Rob? It's again from the Wales Online. It's from the 4th of March. It's by Mike Taylor and Stephen Smith. This is the first time where I legitimately understand why it took 2 people to write this story, Rob, because it's an all-time classic. Headline: Man had sex with his wife on a bollard after heated cul-de-sac parking argument.
I mean, heated cul-de-sac parking argument is a great episode title.
I just want to say, Rob, can you guess the strap line? I'm going to give you 3 guesses to get it roughly in the ballpark. So I'm going to read the headline again. Man had sex with his wife on a bollard after heated cul-de-sac parking argument. Guess the strap line. It's about the husband.
Husband says, it turned me on. I had to do it here and there. Or I don't know, Alex.
Okay,
I was just trying to think something about the bollard.
No. Strapline, Lee Craig McDonald also masturbated in front of his house.
What? Why?
Rob, this is a bad episode, isn't it? I mean, this is something that's going to take a long time to get over, I would suspect.
You'd have to move house, surely.
Right.
But also, why were you masturbating in front of your house? At least at least go inside and do it.
Well, quite. A man had sex with his wife on a bollard and masturbated in front of his house in an attempt to, in quotes, shock and intimidate a neighbour during a parking route in a cul-de-sac, a court has heard. So listen, I want to, look, I'm not backing down over this cul-de-sac parking argument. I need to find a way to bully these people, my neighbours, into submission and understand that I'm the boss. The best way of doing that is to shag my wife on a bollard outside their house and then have a wank on their wall.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I think it probably would intimidate and shock them, but it's also, I think on both counts, illegal.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's. I would say that's an arrestable offence. So he's kind of shot himself in the foot there. Or, I mean, there's so many different euphemisms I could use. Yeah. Bizarre.
I think you'll find he spaffed against the wall, Rob.
Or on his shoe.
Magistrates were told that Lee Craig McDonald parked his camper van in a neighbour's space, leading to, in quotes, some...
Sorry, again, is that euphemism, just to clarify?
Maybe. Leading to, in quotes, some tension and, in quotes, arguments. The court was told that the cul-de-sac of 10 houses saw problems for residents in terms of parking. Prosecutor Richard Wythe told the court that after McDonald parked in his neighbour's space, she put a bollard in place to prevent him doing so. Again, not a euphemism. However, said Mr. Wythe, the bollard was pushed over and interfered with, leading the neighbour to install CCTV that looked from her bedroom over the area in question. She later removed the
Alex, sorry, just stop there a second. When it says the bollard was interfered with, can I just clarify that was there any sort of sexual activity with the bollard?
I don't know. We'll have to speak to the bollard, Rob.
Some heavy petting maybe against it.
I think somebody should interview the bollard, and the bollard could have its voice disguised. So it talks like that.
Yeah, in a darkened room.
Most of those anonymised things they do, I find some of them really bad because they will often show the silhouette of a person's face to the extent that if I knew that person, it'd be quite obvious who it was. I mean, do you know what I mean? There's often things that I think are really identifiable. Like they're sitting quite clearly in their living room and they've just dimmed the room and then they put Darth Vader's voice over them. But I'd be like, that's Rob talking about the fact.
Oh, that's Janice. I wonder where she'd been. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Alex. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So Mr. Wythe said the bollard was pushed over and interfered with, leading the neighbour to install CCTV that looked from her bedroom over the area in question. She later moved the camera onto an external wall and put signs up warning of CCTV, but still caught McConnell pushing the bollard over on 2 occasions. In a strange escalation of the argument, around 11 p.m. on October the 26th, 2022, McConnell masturbated in front of his home in view of the camera before gesturing to his wife to come over to the parking bollard. Mr. Wythe told the court what did happen on October the 26th, but it was not known until the day after that, is that she, the neighbour, had seen him masturbate outside the front of his house and then have sexual intercourse with his wife over the bollard. So, Rob, my imagination would tell me she was probably bent over the bollard with him coming in from the rear.
Right, okay, yeah, I was wondering whether she was positioned on top of it.
That's fucking
when I say position, I mean she was sitting on it and it wasn't in any way trying to imply that it doesn't matter. But thank you for clarifying. What I don't understand is how do I put this? I can't even put this delicately. Were they turned on by this situation, Alex? Because there's nothing arousing around this in the slightest.
Well, each to their own, Rob. Referring to the CCTV footage, he continued, it clearly shows the defendant facing the camera and masturbating. He appears to be talking, and then his wife is wearing some sort of gown, who then walks forward towards the bollard, goes over the bollard and engages in a sexual act. He finishes and walks into the house. The shocked neighbour replayed the footage and was left completely disgusted and felt the act was meant to shock and intimidate her during the ongoing parking row. On the same evening of the sexual act, her husband had been taken to hospital. Oh, that's quite sad.
Oh,
so her husband's taken to hospital and then she has to witness this. I don't know if the two were related.
No, hopefully not. No. My concern is, look, Alex, we've talked about it off mic many a time that we've always speculated that people who own camper vans may be sex people. I think that's fair to say, right?
I don't know. I can't remember that conversation, but maybe we did.
Well, do you remember there was I won't go into detail, but remember where you used to live in Sydenham, there was a camper van that had a certain slogan on the side of it?
No, Rob, we can't go down this road. There was a camper van.
No, I'm not. I wasn't going to.
Oh, you're talking about Jimmy. You're talking about Jimmy's van. There was that. There was Jimmy.
Yes,
there was Jimmy's.
Right, yeah.
But let's not go into that one. But there was another van that I used to speculate was called something else because it looked like the. Rob, let's just stop, please. We're heading into territory we don't need to head.
Fine.
Look. What you and me say to each other.
I'm just saying. My point was that. The people, the neighbours that perform this act may not be adverse to
dogging,
sex in laybys.
Yeah, and dogging.
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Wiley said it was an attempt by the defendant to humiliate her and noted McConnell had answered no comment during his police interview. McConnell, aged 28, pleaded guilty to indecent exposure at the court hearing on Friday afternoon, March the 3rd. Mitigating for McConnell, Simon Lacey said that his client had been left embarrassed by his actions and had even placed their home up for sale in a bid to draw a line under the incident. It could put off potential buyers though, couldn't it, Rob?
Yeah, if he's there, if he's outside and masturbating every time there's a viewing, that's gonna be difficult to shift.
McConnell also expressed concern that a copy of the footage still existed and worries about what could happen to the video. Hopefully somebody will post.
That's his own fault.
Hopefully someone posts it on Twitter. Mr. Lacey said he had no idea cameras were there. It wasn't deliberate, not to humiliate the neighbour. It was clearly inappropriate for something that happened. He's come and pleaded guilty at the very first opportunity. It's fair to say the neighbour was only made aware of it when she was told about it. Referring to the community fallout over McConnell's actions, he added, the whole thing is a disaster. All the neighbours are turned against him and his wife, and they are moving away. All they're doing is removing themselves from a very difficult situation. It is sad, and this is a man who is trying to bring up a family and work. He's very embarrassed about what happened. It's a hard lesson to learn. Well, yeah, but you never know, Rob, who's watching. And unfortunately, it looks like the Wales Online, I'm pretty sure they have disabled comments on this article.
That's probably for the best. Yeah.
Have you got a story for us there, mate?
Yes. So the first story is from the Metro, from the 28th of March by Craig Munro. Now, I didn't intentionally mean for this for the sex theme to continue, but fortunately it will do.
Good.
So the headline is Japanese penis festival says fake phallic mascot is making things really hard.
There's an episode, again, there's an episode title in there somewhere. I think the one we had earlier is the episode title, but there were some lovely phrasing there.
Yeah. So the organisers of a penis festival in Japan are throbbing with anger over an unofficial giant member mascot that people were mistaken for the genuine one.
Sorry, a penis festival. What the fuck is that?
Yes. It's a festival of the penis,
What is it? What would happen when you're there? Is it just a lot of men standing around with their cock out?
Alex, I have to say as well, you will need to look at this mascot at some stage. Okay. So you may want to
remind me of the headline. Penis festival.
Japanese penis festival says fake phallic mascots is making things really hard.
Oh, I see the play on
please
words.
Do not scroll down until.
Okay, I've got the Metro article.
Don't scroll down.
I can see the mascot, by the way. It's right there at the beginning of the article.
Not the black. It's not the black one, by the way.
All right.
No. So, since 1969, people have gathered in Kawasaki near Tokyo for the annual Manamara Mitsuri, also known as the Festival of the Steel Phallus, which again would be a good episode title.
Rob.
In recent years,
just
yes,
brilliant.
Alex.
The Festival of the Steel Phallus.
Yeah, the Festival of the Steel Phallus.
There feels like there's a PlayStation game there somewhere. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you could also argue that a steel phallus is surely that's just another name for a sword, right?
Very good, Rob. But I didn't know. I mean, I know a lot about Japan, but I didn't know this actually went on. I'm intrigued to hear more.
Okay. So, in recent years, the Shinto gathering has become somewhat of a destination for cheeky tourists, or for those who honestly want to celebrate a rather X-rated legend. But one regular attendee has been drawing the wrong sort of attention for their costume, which could politely be described as excessively detailed. The grotesque outfit, which has been worn at the event for at least the past 8 years, depicts a version of a cuddly cartoon character named Gachapin? Yeah. Then, there's a different pronunciation on the following line. Doesn't matter. Gachapin, as the costume has come to be called, retains the character's doleful eyes, single tooth, and a stripy chest, but has incorporated them into a spine-chillingly realistic penis, complete with lifelike colour and unfortunate texture.
So, Rob, hang on. I haven't looked at this picture yet. I'm envisaging a huge sort of pink penis with hairy balls and 2 googly eyes, a single tooth, and a striped jumper.
Right, Alex. So I think this is the time to scroll down, but let me just add some context. Right. The first picture you'll see is the actual mascot,
right? The actual
which is green. Yeah, and the one below it is the fake. Would you care to scroll down and describe what you see?
Doing it now. Okay, I have not seen the second picture. I've seen the first of this apparently well-known, a happy, innocent children's cartoon character, Gachapin. So basically, if you imagine a green Mr. Blobby, I would say, but the outside texture of the material is more kind of felty, furry, and it's got these 2 eyes, and yes, it's got like these 2 prominent like beaver teeth. They're 2 teeth sticking out like a beaver, and then it's got this sort of striped rectangular oblong
shaft
kind of thing on its chest. It does look a bit like Mr. Blobby, or a cross between Mr. Blobby and sort of some kind of Sesame Street character. I'm now going to scroll down to see this penis costume. What the fuck? What the hell is that? That could be put into a horror movie right now, Rob, and we're talking the next Friday the 13th. And what I am looking at here,
correct.
If I saw this, I wouldn't know what it was at first. I'd be like, what the fuck is that?
No.
It looks like a diseased tree. So it's brown. It looks exactly like the green character did in that it's got the eyes and the buck teeth, but it's got a head with a helmet. It's got bulging veins coming off of it, but it does look like a bit like a diseased tree. But then what's really weird is just coming out the side of it, like it's got one arm, which looks like a tree branch, that's also in the shape of another penis. So for some reason, it's a penis with another penis growing out of it, which I'm going to be honest, mine doesn't look like that. That's all I'm saying. If this man's look like that, he's got a problem. It is terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying. And of course, there are people taking pictures of it. Underneath it does say, "We did warn you." I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is understandable. So the organiser said, as of March 2023, there are no official mascots for our Kanemaru festival. We do not officially recognise the costume mascot called Gachachin, which has been treated as an official mascot on the internet in no way whatsoever. So the Manamaru Matsuri festival is based on a local story about a demon taking revenge on a woman who rejected his advances. According to legend, the creature began living in the woman's vagina and would bite down hard on anything that entered in order to prevent her from having children. So the woman hired a blacksmith to fashion a steel member, which shattered the demon's teeth and thus restored her fertility. A replica of the metallic dildo is prescribed in a shrine in Karasaki, and we were paraded at the year's festival on April the 2nd.
I mean, really not much to say, Rob, I'm going to be honest.
No, I think everything has been said, Alex.
So, Rob, it is time for our listener story of the week. What do you got? Who's it from?
So, this is from Face the Strange.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. Now, Alex, I thought this story was dead and buried. I thought we'd had enough of this. Well, at least it was the final twist, but evidently not. The saga continues. So this is from the Norfolk Live.
Oh, it's not Gimp Man again, is it?
No, it's not Gimp Man. No, it's about a certain Japanese restaurant, Alex.
Oh, not Orlando's. You're going to have to give people a background.
Orlando's.
We might have people who are just tuning in for the first time today. Tell them about Orlando's.
Where does this start? So I think it starts with a man who was running a Japanese restaurant out of his living room, which the local council tried to shut down, which I don't think they ever actually successfully did. Because he still ran it and was advertising on social media. He tried to apply for a license to run the restaurant, which I think was refused, but he did it anyway. And then managed to get a license to operate a bed and breakfast out of the house, which was granted. But then, alongside the bed and breakfast, he then still was advertising the Japanese restaurant. And then it got to a point where I think Norwich City Council just gave up and just let him do it, really.
It was a war of attrition, that's for sure, which he won. Okay.
Yeah, he definitely wore them down. So this is the latest twist in the saga. This is actually from the 11th of April. The 11th of February even. So Norwich B&B, suspected of running a illegitimate Japanese restaurant, denied plan and permission to extend. So he's asked for an extension, Alex.
But it's not a restaurant, remember that, Rob.
No, yeah, sorry, yeah. So a bed and breakfast owner known for denying running a Japanese restaurant is fighting to extend his property after the city council rejected the plans. So Orlando Williams, owner of the controversial Orlando's Bed and Breakfast, can I just say why does he not change it to the controversial Orlando's Bed and Breakfast? That'd be a far better name for it.
Oh my God, the controversial Orlando's Bed and Breakfast. I'd go there. Yeah, it's memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. It would draw you in just out of curiosity. So he applied for a 2-story rear extension to his property, but was rebuffed by Norwich City Council in early 2022. Now Mr. Williams is appealing to the government's planning inspectorate to get the decision overturned. Since 2019, the B&B owner has been involved in an extraordinary battle with Norwich City Council over whether he's been running an illegitimate restaurant from his property on Erland Road. Something Mr. Williams has previously denied, despite people reportedly being served meals on the premises. The extension will provide additional space for 2 bedrooms, as well as additional seating and dining space. Which is fair, Alex. It's a bed and breakfast. So, he might legitimately just be providing with a breakfast. There's nothing to say that he's running a Japanese restaurant, apart from the fact that he advertises on social media. The menus. Planning officials did not raise the property's restaurant use as a reason for their rejection of the application. However, it was mentioned in their supporting evidence in the appeal as part of the information presented to inspectors. Mr. Williams and his architects are arguing to the inspectors that City Hall has treated the application unjustly, with surrounding buildings having a similar design. They also argue that there are other B&Bs in the area. The site with the building next door to the property was given an approval in 2015 to be turned into a larger guest house, and the increase in guests would not cause any harm to the area.
What the hell do his neighbours think of all of this? They must know, because they know he's running this hotel, right? Or restaurant that he claims is just a B&B, but it's clearly a restaurant. And now he wants to extend it. And I don't know what sign. Have we ever worked out? Has he got signage outside the house? Because it is a house. It's like me sticking Orlando's outside my house. It would piss people off, I would have thought.
Yeah, because it says, while Mr. Williams has previously denied operating the eatery from the premises, which is adorned with signage for Orlando's, diners are reportedly have reported eating there, prompting the council to launch the investigation. However, the investigation was closed in 2022, saying there was no definitive evidence of a restaurant being run on the site. But then it goes on to the other details about the Facebook page, saying that he was opening a Japanese restaurant. And this was as recently as January.
What more evidence do you need? He posted on Facebook, "Hey world, I'm opening a Japanese restaurant from my house. We're not sure we found conclusive evidence." There's your evidence.
Alex, this was in January this year. And I think that, as you rightly say, I think
Where is it again, Rob?
It's on Erland Road in Norwich. By the way, if anyone wants to contact Orlando's, and let them know that we've covered them extensively. I like Norwich. It's a beautiful city, and if he wants to put us up for a night or two, I wouldn't be adverse to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say the same thing. I mean, it would be a nice romantic getaway for you and I, Rob.
Yeah. Can you just imagine that? LA podcast sponsored by Orlando's Japanese restaurant.
Orlando's in brackets.
Orlando's Bed and
Breakfast in brackets, not a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, Orlando's controversial bed and breakfast and Japanese restaurant.
Hang on a minute.
Not proven.
If it's a Japanese restaurant, which flows very nicely on from the last story we had, should we not be sending him a dildo in the post to commemorate Penis Festival week?
I think it's probably unwise to send unsolicited dildos in the post, Alex.
Sending unsolicited dildos in the post is a very good episode title.
It is.
Well, we bring this episode of LA Podcast to a close. Episode 385. As I said, if you want more good content, come and join us on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/LA Podcast Extra. It's £1 a month minimum. You can pay that £1 or you can pay whatever you want, but you get loads of extra content because we release 2 episodes of LA Podcast and Extra Jab every month, and there are already 40 plus episodes on there which you get access to, and they are brilliant, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully over there in a week's time, and a week after that will be episode 386. Thank you everybody for listening. God bless.
And keep it local.